What up, what up, what up? Oh my goodness. Welcome to another episode, Booze. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I am your girl coming to you live, dropping a little knowledge. You know this how we do. So, I've been telling y'all grab a snack and come back, but you might need a pen one more time. Okay, today we're talking about 4 things that can inspire you for innovation. Okay, so I hope you're ready, boo. Okay, of course that didn't work, but you know what? It's okay. Okay, talk about delayed, okay? Delayed, right? So crazy. OMG, my name is Michelle Lawrence, coming to you live from LBC Studios. I am your friendly neighborhood brand ambassador. I help you stand out so that you can make your mark in the world. The way I do that is with my mark method. You're like, what? Yeah, girl, my mark method. MARK. It stands for mindset, which we're going to do tonight. Authenticity, be you, revenue, you got to make some money doing it, and knowledge. Okay. So, also, the way that I do that is also through like social learning, just like this, and online courses. So, what are you waiting for? It's time for you to make your mark. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, look, we talking about innovation. We're talking about ways to like be innovative and, sometimes you don't really think about it, but there's certain things that can inspire you to do stuff. And so today we're going to focus on 4, surprising places that you could find innovation. So, now you see something scrolling across your screen right now. So what's scrolling across your screen right now is if you drop the emoji, the emoji, right? I will send you the notes, the show notes to the show. Of course, after the show, I'll send them to you. Okay. So I'll manually send them to you like, like a human. I do have a bot that does that. But all you got to do is just drop that emoji and I'll send you the show notes from today's show. Okay. So, oh my gosh, I love these because, I made another little presentation and I cannot wait to share it with you. Okay, so here we go to the presentation and stuff. Okay, okay, so here we go. So let's talk about this. So let's talk about this. So 4 places where you can find inspiration for innovation, and of course, I when it's so quiet, it just makes me, I gotta hear something. So anyway, um, play a little music. Oh my goodness. Alrighty. So here we go. Oops. Gosh, everything is so delayed tonight for whatever reason. But you know what? It's all good. I'll just make it play manually. I can do that. All right. So, anyways, so let's talk about this, okay? So first thing we're gonna talk about where you would find inspiration, historical figures, right? Like, seriously, a lot of times people really, they're like, um, not sure where to start, right? And sometimes going right back to history will help you, get into the place where you need to where you need to start. So, historical figures. Some of you are homeschooling your kids right now, and it's just a different kind of living because before you used to send them away and now they're with you all the time, and now you're homeschooling and you're doing stuff that you wouldn't have done before because a teacher was doing it. So anyway, but back to the historical figures. So think about some of the people in history that were innovators, right? Like Albert Einstein. Bro, that man was brilliant. Brilliant. Some of the laws that we have now he like figured that out, right? So sometimes, these can be game changers, right? So sometimes many times you take bold steps, and these guys did it all the time, right? These are pioneers. These are people that are out there trailblazing. And then, when I think about Albert Einstein, I'm like, oh my God, that guy was brilliant. And so he, his name is synonymous with like genius, right? So spend some time researching some world changers, people that changed the world, right? Understand their beginnings, what inspired them, what were their challenges, and what was the turning point that made them kind of like just turn the light on and make something happen, right? You can find similarities between them and you, right? I'm just saying, you can find similarities. So use historical figures. That's going to be our first thing. So that's the main thing. So find those similarities and make that drive your inspiration. Okay. So when you're thinking about the next thing that you're going to do, okay. The next thing we're going to talk about, is this right here. OMG, inventions before their time. No, seriously. How many times have you, thought, wow, how'd they think of that? Right? I mean, like, seriously. So if you think about inventions before their time, the times, think about thinking outside the box, right? Right now, we're having to do a lot of that, okay? So we've never been where we are now. Like, I mean, maybe in 1918, maybe, but who was around then, right? How many people this went around then? But anyway, we're having to think outside the box a lot right now because of this, COVID-19 pandemic. And so this is another way to try to inspire innovation. It really is. It really is. So things that were inventions before their time, a lot of times, people there was a need and folks figured out how to do stuff because there was a need. Basically, you find the need and you fill it, so this is a way to be inspired to do stuff. So let's think about Bill Gates. He was a teenager when he made his first computer. A teenager. He is one of the richest men in the world, right? And he and his wife Bill and Melinda, his wife Bill and Melinda, they have this great foundation where they do so much philanthropy in the world. But think about him, then think about Steve Jobs. See this iPhone that some of y'all carrying around? I love my phone. Right here, right? Think about him, right? And the rivalry that Apple and the PC folks, the Gates had, right? Think about that innovation. Think about like cell phones. Who in their wildest dreams back in the day would have thought that we would have a little computer that we walked around with, that everybody had in their hands, that you can get information? Things like what's happening now in the world, we would have never heard about what was going on in China back in the day unless you had somebody came from there, right? But then television was invented, and radio, and the radio first, then television, and all this other kind of stuff, right? And so now we know what's going on the other side of the world, like from here with our phone. Seriously, right? So just think about those things, right? Inventions before their time. And those were innovators who thought outside the box, who thought of something and thought through that process. So you can gain something from that. I'm just saying. So think about those types of things. Remember that once your innovation could be fascinating to somebody, right? And if it's appealing to somebody, then they'll probably want it, right? There are people with patents all the time, coming up with new ideas and new inventions all the time. Why not be one of them? Okay. The next thing we're gonna talk about would be nature, right? I mean, now that a lot of you are at home, I don't have that luxury. I'm one of the essential workers and I go to work every single day taking care of patients. And I'll soon be taking care of COVID patients, which is going to be very, very interesting. But you know what? Hey, it's all in a day's work, right? So think about nature, right? Think about looking at some of the beautiful things in nature. I love nature. I love going for walks and all this other kind of stuff. And then or just looking at like the sunrise. Oh my God, sunrise and sunset. Ah, perfect. I love it. Another phenomenon that I absolutely love in nature, the phases of the moon. Like I am a child of the moon big time, like so big time, right? And as a matter of fact, tomorrow is the full moon. So I will be moon gazing tomorrow. Hopefully it's not like really, cloudy and stuff. So I'd be able to actually see, the full moon and watch the moon rise and that kind of stuff. I love that stuff. But my point about nature is this, right? Looking through the window, looking around you, you see all of this beautiful stuff around you, right? And then even though some things might be so simple, they're extremely complex, right? And then sometimes there's so much creativity in trying to figure out the complex, right? So nature is another thing that you can use to inspire you to innovate something, okay? You ever notice how the flowers open up and then they close up at night? You ever notice that? Right? I mean, just little things can inspire you to do so much more. All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about is, and this is going to be the final thing, pioneers. Really. People who overcame obstacles like even before their time, right? How did they think through that process, right? And so a lot of times, their challenges are difficult. Like our challenges now, they are difficult. We've never been here before, right? And so now we're thinking about all kinds of things differently. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be the first one on record, and I know I'm not the first one on record, but I'll be the first one on record on this page to tell you that a lot of ways that we do things are going to change. From this experience that we're all having right now, it's going to change because innovators right now are rethinking how we do everyday mundane tasks. Seriously. And they're rethinking how we do stuff. They're rethinking healthcare. If you guys don't know, I'm a nurse in real life. They're rethinking how we deliver healthcare, right? I know telehealth was a thing before, like few and far between, but now it's a thing. Like seriously, it's a thing, right? And so they're rethinking all different things. So these are people who overcome obstacles, who are innovative, finding creative ways to do some simple tasks. Okay. So, the sky is the limit, right? You can do anything, right? You can do anything. Just, you got to be a little bit creative, right? And, the sky is the limit. So OMG, those were my four simple ideas that could create innovation. Okay. And so if you loved any of this information, OMG, I'm so excited and so thrilled. I would hope that you would drop that emoji in the message in the chat below. Drop that emoji. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can go back to that screen. This one right here. Right? Drop that emoji, right? That mind blowing emoji right there in the chat below. And I'll send you the show notes from today's show. the next thing I got to do is go ahead and record the podcast for today's show. So if you are one who likes to watch a video, hey, I got a video for you. If you are you one who like to listen to it, I got a podcast for you. As a matter of fact, let's go back. I'm gonna tell you where you can find me in all the places. Okay, so in all the places, here we go. Booyah. This is where you can find me in all the places. Okay. I am on Facebook, right here on Facebook at LBC Branding. I'm also on YouTube and Instagram at LBC Branding. And that podcast that I mentioned, we are at the Leopard Shoe Diaries. Okay. So I'll be dropping a new episode of the Leopard Shoe Diaries. Go ahead. You'll find it anywhere you can find a podcast. So, the Apple, the Googles, the whatevers. There's a bunch of people that I don't even know, but I'm there. Okay. So I'm so happy that you are here with me. Once again, every Tuesday, we drop a little mindset, a little infusion of mindset to get you thinking about some stuff. So I'm so excited you came in and, sat with me for a little bit. So I always ask, what are you waiting for? It's time for you to make your mark. We'll see you in the next video.